tell 10-year-old you that had this dream playing in the NFL, now you're at the combine, just reflecting that for a moment, what would you tell yourself?
Yeah, I would tell myself to continue to follow God's path for you. You know, there's been some trials and some tribulations, some adversity, as we all, have faced in life, but everything's going to work out. So it's a dream come true, but this is also one of my goals that I have for myself, and I'm happy to be checking that one off the box.
Where do you feel like you need to get better in this pre-draft process?
Pre-draft process, I don't think there's a specific area that I need to get better in this pre-draft process, but just keep my body right, of course, working on football, doing what I got to do here with the drills and stuff like that, and I think I'll be in good shape.
Maybe just in general, then, where do you need to get better to make an impact table on the NFL?
Yeah, there's, like I said, there's a lot of areas that I can improve, in my opinion. But I think going, transitioning my pass rush, going a little bit more speed to power, I think that's an area of improvement for me.
Donovan, can you describe what your transition to senior year was after coming off the junior year and what you expected?
Yeah, just having a lot more fun, playing free within, Coach Lewis's scheme, and just not putting a lot of pressure on myself, to chase plays. If I do what I had to do, try to perform to my best ability so that my team could do our best on Saturdays. That's all it was. Going back to what got me here in the first place. Now just having fun. Flying to the football and playing free. Right. Yeah, I think I have a knack for the football, and I never really had. My career at Boston College, I always took pride in playing a run game because I understand that you can't pass rush on third down until you win on first and second down, and I take a lot of pride in that, like I said. And there's areas to improve in all parts of our games, but I think I played a run pretty darn well. Obviously, it'll be different going into the NFL, but I think I'll be just fine. Yeah, I play at 247, especially this past year. And I think as time goes on and, my body develops, with age or whatever the case may be, I think I'll be able to put on more weight, 250, 255 maybe in the future. But I think that my frame can hold that weight and still be functional.
How did someone like Cam Mosley help you have the year that you had?
Yeah, because he does what he has to do in the middle. He stops, he clogs up the middle for me. He lets me be free on the outside. So I definitely appreciate Cam for that. And he's been consistent, his 5 years at Boston College.
Donovan, this week you meet with plenty of teams. Are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers one of them?
Can you repeat that?
Are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers a team you've met with?
Yes, I've met with the Tampa Bay.
Do you know if it
Buccaneers.
was formal or informal?
It was a formal.
What would it mean coming down to Tampa Bay and playing next to Yaya Diaby?
I don't mind it. I think anywhere that, any team that drafts me, it'll be a blessing. And I just can't wait to, see where I end up.
Donovan, have you met with the Patriots?
No, I haven't met with the Patriots.
What would it, if they were to take you, what would it mean you'd be able to kind of stay in New England and stay up there?
Like I said, any team that decides to draft me, it'll be a blessing, and they'll be getting a good person, and I think a great player as well.
Can you talk a little bit about the ghost move that you did on plenty of off the tackles last year? Like what all went into you implementing that move into your repertoire? Yeah, the ghost, it's a move that not everybody can do, but I'm blessed enough to have that ability, the ankle mobility, hip mobility, and the bend to do that. It's just a change up. I wouldn't say it's my go-to move, but when you're going against a taller, bigger tackle that struggles to bend, it's a move that can work in our favor. You mentioned like your length and speed to power.
Yeah.
Those two moves kind of go hand in hand. Is that
yeah, they do. It's a move that you got to set up for sure. And then when I flash a long arm at a guy, it'll make him want to sit down. So they go hand in hand for sure.
What's the difference between how you were used,
I'm sorry, can you say that a little louder?
What was the difference in how you were used junior year under Hafley's system and then you go into the new system?
What was the difference? It wasn't too big of a difference. Obviously, I played a lot more snaps this past year as opposed to previous years. But I was used on the edge. I was used to drop in both systems. I floated around a little bit more, stand up a little bit more this past year, and I would say that was the biggest difference that I was used.
A lot of guys just hired Rob Brown as he was coach. He was with
Boston College last year. Are you familiar with him?
Can you repeat that?
The 49ers just hired Ray Brown as their DB coach. Are you familiar with him at all? He was with Boston
Yeah,
College.
I'm familiar with Coach Brown.
What can you say about him? What kind of coach is he? What kind of guy is he?
Yeah, he's a very energetic coach. He's a guy that he grasps his room with his energy and his knowledge for the game. And I think that'll be congratulations to him, of course, for getting that job. I think he'll be a great fit for the 49ers.
A lot of talent this year's draft. How do you separate yourself from everybody else? What's your selling point?
Yeah, I would say my mentality, my mental toughness, as well as I'm a great person at the end of the day. I think all teams want to invest in a great person as well as great talent. But I would say my athletic ability as well. I take pride in stopping a run game, and I could pass rush for sure. So
how can a person like yourself change a defense that struggle?
how can I change a defense that struggle? Yeah, I bring that element to the game. I've shown that I can finish and I can pass rush and I can disrupt a quarterback, and I think that's really important with today's day and age and it being a passing league. So.
Can you take me back to when you started watching offensive line tape with Doug Moreau?
Yeah, so that started in camp. Honestly, he was watching defensive line drills, and I just asked him for his thoughts. What he was watching, and from there it kind of grew onto now we're Wednesdays watching film, to study and create a rush plan for that week. And he's a very knowledgeable coach. He's been doing it for a long time, and it was really cool to have somebody of that caliber, a dial away, and we could sit in a room for a couple hours and just study and diagnose tape. So
Started in camp, you came out of a Wednesday deal.
Yeah.
Did you pull other guys into it?
Of course I did.
How many guys?
Of course I did. At some point, it started being the most of the room, most of the D-line room, and I think that was important because guys were getting a different perspective on offensive defensive line play. So.
Yeah. So you started it with Don, and they came on board.
I love to take the credit for it.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Donovan, I know you said you'd be happy wherever.
Sorry. Can we go right here real quick?
Hey, between you and Phil Carter, Jihad Campbell, what's the draft mean for Philly area, South Jersey line?
Yeah, it's a lot of talent down there, and it's not just us three. There's more guys like Fidel Diggs, LaQuint Allen from Millville, Elijah Clark from Camden as well. It's a lot of us, Kyle McCord, Syracuse, a lot of us coming out this year, and it shows that we got some guys in South Jersey in that Philly area. We kind of get, we tend to had a little argument with North Jersey guys, but South Jersey and the Philly area been putting on for sure.
I know you said you'd be happy wherever you end up.
Yeah.
How important is it for you to crack the first round? And do you got any advice from Zion Johnson, Zay Flowers, guys that did end up in the first round that you played?
Yeah, it would be important. Obviously, a dream come true. Something that I've been wanting to do since I was 7 years old playing this game. At the end of the day, it's on God's timing. I can't really control that. I got to do what I can do. Control what I can control. But yeah, I talked to Zay for sure, and Zion. They pretty much told me this time, and Christian Mahogany, pretty much, and Elijah Jones. They pretty much told me, this is the time to lock in. Take these couple months, and it'll go by fast, but it's going to be the longest year of your life, essentially, because you're coming from a season, and then to this season, and then mini camp, OTAs and things like that. So just enjoy it though at the same time. Yeah, he has a very detailed eye, for offensive line play and as well as defensive line play. So it was a moment where, kind of early on, he would like frame by frame, the film, and he was like, "Did you see that?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he was like, "He can't take inside power because of the way he drops his foot here." And it was just like those small details that he caught that I didn't necessarily catch, and I think that's what helped me. Yeah, regular meetings. And then it turned into, he gave me the blueprint, so then he would add his notes in the film, and I would, watch it on my own as well.
BC has been something of an offensive line factory.
Right.
Just being able to go against that every day in practice, how does that sharpen your?
Yeah, it's definitely sharpened my game a lot. Going against Ozzie Trapillo since, I first stepped on campus as a 17-year-old. And then we got guys like Drew Bowery, who's up and coming as well. And it really helps. Iron sharpens iron. And I don't think I would have been as prepared on a weekly basis if I wasn't going against those guys every single week. So,
Donovan, are you a first-round pick?
I believe so, yes.
What makes you a first-round pick?
Like I said before, my mentality, my mental toughness, a great player as well as a great person. And I think I've shown that I have the attributes. I can rush, and I can win, and I can play the run as well at a high level.
Donovan, you spoke.
Have you met with the Broncos?
No, I haven't.
And you spoke about the.
I'm sorry, can we get it right here? Yeah. Defensive line or offensive line? I had a good group. I had guys in my group, defensive line, like, Mike Green, David Walker, Josh Joyner, Landon Jackson. We had a pretty solid group. Femi, even D tackles as well. But offensive line, I would say, the tackle from Minnesota, he stood out. The offensive lineman from, I believe, North Dakota State. And he was a great guy too. He was pretty cool, but he was talented as well.
Donovan, you spoke about the South Jersey groups, the next level 7-17. How did that shape you?
Next level greats, and it showed me, what it was to, compete with the top in the country. We traveled around the country. Did 7-on-7. Granted, I'm a defensive lineman trying to do 7-on-7. It wasn't my strong suit, but it just showed me that there's talent out here, but I could play with that talent. And obviously, we travel, go to different colleges, and big shout out to Coach Marcus Hammond, Coach Brandon Bather, and Coach Preston Brown, Coach Malik Brown. Those guys, they got something special, and Coach Matt Zubak. So.
You mentioned like the extensive film study that you kind of put into process. Can you give an example of like something that you caught on film maybe last year that you were able to go put on tape like that following Saturday?
You're saying like moves and stuff?
Yeah, any like weaknesses that you noticed with the tackle you were able to kind of take
advantage of? I got you. So, with film you're able to see, you can't hide. Obviously, so we pick up on things like whether tackles are giving away run pass keys. That helps you obviously pre-snap. Whether or not they're waist benders or they they kick and they keep their chest tall or whatever the case may be. And I think when you take those things and you're studying those things, it's easier to have a plan in game. So I definitely use that to my advantage.
Donovan, why went into leaving the senior bowl for sure? Just a decision because you felt like you did enough, or
right. Yeah, that was the biggest thing. Felt like I showed what I had to show out there. So yeah, that's what went into leaving the senior bowl early.
Outside of your doing Zoom with Green Bay, and all of a sudden Jeff Haffley's and Vince Agosti are on the other end. How weird would that be? And then what would you tell them about the player you were?
That wouldn't be weird at all. I actually I spoke to them over the phone, before this, not too long ago, and it'll just be like a reunion from high school. Honestly, getting from recruited from high school to college, and obviously, I was with them for 3 years, so it wouldn't be weird at all. It wouldn't be a surprise at all. I had a lot of respect for those guys, and I know that they're it's always open communication. That's a bond and a connection that we've built for life, not just for my time in college. So. I think so.
Donovan, outside of your individual accomplishments this season, what made it special your last year at BC? Do you feel like the program is on the precipice of breaking through finally? Yeah,
I think so. I think Coach O'Brien and his staff is on the cusp of that. But what really made it special was after the last game, or after my last game playing at Boston College, it made it special that younger guys on the team, freshman, sophomore, and they came up to me and it was like Don, I really appreciate you for everything. And like the type of person I am, I didn't really understand like what are you talking about? Like I'm just being who I am. I'm just if I could talk to you, give you a little wisdom, that's what I'm supposed to do. But that means like I had an impact on the guys. You know what I mean? And that speaks to who I am as a person. And that speaks to why they elected me as captain. But it was just kind of like maybe a surreal moment in a way, to understand that like, okay, I actually had an impact here at this school.
Donovan, have you met formally with the Dallas Cowboys yet?
Formally, no, I haven't with the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, I have.
What was that meeting like?
It was good. Definitely talked a lot of football. Drew up some things or whatever the case may be. But it was a very good conversation. No, I haven't. The Texans, I met with the Texans. It was really good. Yes, sir. He was in there. We had a really good conversation. Sometimes I wish some of these meetings could be a little bit longer, but everybody's on the time crunch. And had some really good, some former interviews yesterday and the day before. So.
Donovan, how often did you go against Armand and Bill?
Is that the right tackle or left tackle?
Yeah, right tackle, 79.
I was predominantly on the left side. majority of that game. So going against the right side, but going against the left tackle majority of that game. So maybe a few reps.
So what sticks out about the Missouri offense too overall, especially with their outside running?
Yeah, so their outside zone scheme, that sticks out to me. But, they had a pretty solid left tackle. They were able to throw the ball pretty well. Definitely one of those games I wish I could take back and, do a little bit extra. So.
Donovan, at the Senior Bowl, your name came up when talking offensive linemen as one of the most impressive guys to rep against. What does it feel to hear that kind of praise from your peers? I
actually didn't know that, so that's pretty cool. But just to gain the respect, from my peers, being at a bowl game where it's the best of the best in the country, it definitely means a lot. And I think it'll carry dividends.
Do you learn anything about yourself from the Senior Bowl? I mean, it's become one of these premier all-star games where you got a lot of the greatest in the country going into practice.
It's not that I learned something about myself. I'm very confident in my game and my ability. It was cool to go up against other top guys, of course, but I know for a fact that I match up very well, and I would bet on myself going against the top guys, of course.